Dear participants, welcome to Module 1 of Unit 2. In Unit 2, we will discuss skills for interviews, group discussions and presentations. These are skills for communicating at an advanced level in professional settings. I'm Madhumita Sinha. Remember me from Module 1 and 2 of Unit 1? Apart from the script of the lecture, you have worksheets that have learning activities and tasks. You will need to download the worksheets and do the exercises so that you get enough practice. You will also need to listen to the tapes which are there and to read the material which is given to you. Let us begin with interviews. Interviews are a part of adult life and are important for higher studies and professional career. As the words elimination and selection are linked to these, interviews sound like an intimidating practice. But with good practice and preparation, one can manage it well. According to the Collins Dictionary, an interview is a formal meeting at which someone is asked questions in order to find out if they are suitable for a job or for a course of study. Interview as a term is derived from the French term entrevoir, which means to have a glimpse or a brief view. So an interview is usually to make the choice for a right candidate. Let us look at learning outcomes. Once you have completed this module, you will understand the format and the entire process of interviews. You will learn to prepare and plan systematically to face interviews. You will also prepare to deal with obstacles during the interview. Also, you will be able to identify appropriate verbal and non-verbal communication skills. Take a look at Worksheet 1, Learn 1.1. Let us think of the reasons for interviews. We said earlier, it could be for a new job or promotion or for a course in an educational institution. Interviews also happen for various kinds of data collection or for getting a perspective based on a person's knowledge or of a subject or any first-hand information. When interviews are linked with a specific kind of research, they work as a tool for collection of information or become an investigative device. The latter, that is getting a perspective on a subject, can happen for an academic or for a journalistic reason. But you must have heard of interviews of parents or also of young children for admissions. Apart from these absurd situations, let us think of circumstances in everyday life where we can be in an interview kind of situation. Meeting an insurance agent or a bank official for a loan where we have to give a lot of information about our personal and financial life. Even when we meet new people while traveling or when we join a new organization, we have to answer a lot of questions about ourselves. These examples are not to say that these contexts are similar to the situation of formal interviews, but to highlight the fact that interviews do happen in mundane settings without a selection process being involved. Of course, interviews for jobs and academic selections have a different format and are high pressured in comparison to the more relaxed ones for the purposes of journalism or data collection. In this particular module, we will stay with the interviews for selection process and deal specifically with face-to-face interviews. One of the things you need to understand is that reaching the interview level is in fact the second stage of selection process, as the first was selecting you on the basis of your biodata or curriculum vitae. This means that the details in your CV, curriculum vitae, are suitable for the organization that you have applied to. But there are others as well who have reached this point, and the interview will be the process where the best ones will be retained. So, one of the foremost responsibilities you have is to go through your own CV a couple of times. Please understand that the same CV does not work for all times, for all kinds of jobs, and for all positions. You need to highlight your strengths or qualifications on the basis of the job and the company profile. You can go to worksheet 1, learn 1.1 and look at different types of CVs. Then modify your own CV depending on the requirements. But the question is, why do we need to study our own CV? A curriculum vitae is not just a record of your personal details like age, date of birth, educational qualification, etc. Rather, it is also your statement about who you are and what could you bring to the organization where you have applied. It is a document that lists out all your personal achievements, but it should be used to foreground the facts as per the requirements of the organization to which you are applying. So, use this opportunity carefully and creatively and let your CV form an impressive start for you. Here, a connected question can be, if one has the required qualification and experience or competence according to the CV, then what could be the reason for the interview? The answer is that interviews are the way to assess the ideas or the approaches of a candidate on a topic. So, when a candidate is interviewed, they are being judged for the knowledge of the subject, also about how they think and respond to situations. So, we can also define interviews as a conversation with a clear and specific purpose. In a wide range of situations, the ability to answer tough questions and to stay cool under pressure is extremely valuable. Most of the material that you will read will tell you that the key to success in interviews lies in preparation and planning. Before we proceed further, please go to worksheet 1, learn 1.2, where you have two links provided to you of two film clips from the same film, The Pursuit of Happiness. Watch the first clip and make notes about appearance, mannerism, ability to take questions, preparedness of the candidate. Also jot down the basis on which the interview panel asked questions. Then go to the second clip and add to the notes you made earlier after watching the first clip. This will start you to think on the do's and don'ts of an interview. What are the differences that you can observe and think about which change from clip 1 to clip 2 to contribute to professional atmosphere? Here we have to understand that, like the film context, Not all interviews are conducted by a panel or a group of people. That means there can be different types of interviews based on ways or modes according to which they are conducted. The first one, face to face. The first one of this type can be an interview on one-to-one basis, meaning one official interviews one candidate, and the second one can be where an individual is being interviewed by a panel. Second, group interviews. Group interviews are the ones where a group of candidates interested in a position are given a topic or a case that they discuss while a couple of executives observe and grade them on a set criterion. Group discussions are a good example of this, where either a topic is discussed or a case is analyzed. Telephonic interviews is the third one. These are conducted on phone and can happen for candidates who are far away or have issues in attending an interview personally. It can also happen for jobs where phone skills are of utmost importance, for example, telemarketing, call center jobs, etc. For these two, you should be fully prepared with your CV in hand. Stay focused on the conversation, as any distraction will show in your voice, as will your alertness and your smile. Please go to worksheet 1, learn 1.3 and check the given website for all details of telephonic interviews. Fourth, video interviews. This can be done on Skype, Google Meet, WebEx, Zoom or any other platform that is chosen for the purpose. The format will largely be like a face-to-face interview, and this type of interview can also be on one-to-one basis or with a panel. You need a good internet connection and a quiet place for this to concentrate on the transaction solely. You will find a detailed description of video interviews in the website given in worksheet 1, learn 1.4. There can also be interviews where you will need to video record yourself while answering the questions already sent to you and send this recording to the prospective employer. There can be a second set of interviews that are based on different methods deployed for selecting candidates, based on their ability to solve a problem, demonstrate behavioral aspects, or how one can handle stress, and so on. These can be named as behavioral interviews, case interviews, stress interviews, competency-based interviews, etc. For a detailed understanding of the method-based interviews, check out the two websites given in worksheet 1, learn 1.5. These details will equip you to understand various types of job interviews. Let us now divide interviews in three parts: before, during and after, and discuss these aspects. The phase referred to as before is the preparatory phase. So let us list out what is needed to be done. Before, preparation. First, research the company, its history, vision statement, departments, products, challenges, goals, etc. You should carefully check the website of the company and get familiar with the important details. Second, reread the job description given in the advertisement. This will enable you to show how you are suitable for the job. In case there is any shortfall, you will be able to think and justify it. Third, carefully list out your competency from your academic performance, work experience, extracurricular activities in relation to that of the job description. Fourth, list out as many questions as possible that you think the interviewers can ask you and prepare the responses thoroughly. The questions will cover aspects of your education, experience, accomplishments, etc. Do not rule out a totally unexpected question. Please go to worksheet 1, learn 1.6 and see the list of possible questions. Please add more to these on the basis of your CV and prepare the responses. But do remember that you should sound natural while responding and not like a person who is giving mugged up answers. Record some of your responses and listen to them. This will help you improve your answers wherever need be. Take care of the pace of your speech and the pitch of your voice. In worksheet 1, learn 1.7, there are some talks that you can watch before you prepare for an interview. After this preparation, we reach the interview day. So, as yet we are not enduring, but we are thinking of the interview day, which is linked to the actual interview situation and a little before it that we refer to as during. Interviews are as much about your knowledge and competence as they are about your personality, grooming and behavior. And this brings us to the day which we are calling during. Dress well, but do not be too flashy. The first impression is quite often made on your appearance, so try to dress carefully. Being in formals may be the safest bet. Avoid wearing new clothes or new shoes. New clothes can be uncomfortable sometimes and new shoes can bite, which will distract you. The idea is to use things you are familiar and comfortable with so that you can focus entirely on the interview process. Reach the venue 15 minutes before the allotted time to avoid unnecessary rush and subsequent anxiety bouts. This will give you time to get acquainted with the place and other candidates. In other words, you get some time to breathe easy. If due to an emergency you get delayed, do call and inform the office about it. Usually people understand a problem and can understand an emergency situation, so you may be accommodated later. Now let us consider the actual interview situation in steps. Once you enter the room, greet everyone warmly. If there are only 1 or 2 interviewers, do a firm handshake with them. Take a seat only when you are asked to. Do not pull the chair noisily or place the file on the table with a thud. Sit straight, as good posture is a mark of confidence, and maintain eye contact with the person who is asking a question. But while answering, do look at the other members of the interview panel too. All through the interview, remain alert, energetic and pleasant. Speak in a clear and firm voice. Good communication skill is essential to crack an interview. Questions are the key to an interview, so listen to these carefully and then respond. Try to be to the point and not too elaborate. The best strategy may be to give well-informed, concise answers. Take cues from the reactions of the panelists and ask whether they need any further clarification. In case you have any doubts about a question, do not hesitate to seek clarification. There is no harm in you taking some time to think before answering too. No interviewer dislikes a candidate who mulls over a difficult question before responding. But do not make the interview process sluggish by pretending to be thinking all the time. Being too slow may suggest that you really don't know the answers or you are not very well prepared. In case you do not know an answer, admit honestly. Do not be evasive. Apart from the most common questions like, tell us about yourself, or why do you want to change your job? There can be questions asking you about your previous experience, your ability to solve a problem, or a conflict. These will be specific to your experience. Go to worksheet 1, learn 1.8 and check out the website for possible questions and clues to answer them. Also look at the list of do's and don'ts for an interview in the same worksheet. In case your interview is for a change of a job, speak about the possibilities in this company, but do not speak ill of your earlier organization at all. You should foreground the positives, your learning, your experience there, a possibility for a better position, better pay here. Now we come to the after, but with the end of the interview process. You will be told when the interview gets over. Sometimes the interviewers allow the candidates to ask a couple of questions before they leave. Keep some questions ready which you can ask. For example, how soon will they make a decision about the selection process? Or whether there is a training program that will follow after people join. Thank the panel or the interviewer before leaving with a smile. This might be the end of the interview, but it will help you immensely to make your personal notes about what went well and what you need to get better at. These notes will be particularly helpful if you are in early stage of your career and expect more interviews to take place. Try and send a thank you note to all the individuals on the panel or to the person in charge for the interview. The point is that the interviewers are there to check the claims that you make in your CV and to check your behavioral intelligence. Therefore, the questions about the subject or the field of your expertise, your personal attributes, your future plans, etc. were asked. Your job is to have anticipated as many questions as possible, be prepared with good answers. So you can already see that I am concluding, repeating the same points, and you have been able to find on the worksheets as many questions and answers, and also you will be able to adapt many of them according to your context. In a nutshell, do not be a boring candidate. You should try to contribute to making your interview interesting by taking it very seriously and projecting a positive self-image. You should also take your knowledge, your capabilities seriously and make an earnest case for why you should be hired. Do well in all your interviews and practice and plan well.